Hi guys, in this video, I'll be explaining how you can make your Android application to support 16 KB page sizes to be compliant with Google Play Console. This video will be divided into two parts. The first part of the video, I'll be discussing about what is this 16 KB page size limit and then how you can test it within your own application. In the second part of the video, I'll be explaining how you can make your React Native application compliant. Right. The thing is, the step for both the Android side and the React Native side is the exact same. But I will in the second part of the video, I'll be diving into more of the React Native libraries to mention how I solved it and how you can solve it as well. So let's get started. So recently, like in my work app, I got this error in Google Play Console, where not an error but a warning in Google Play Console stating that my app is not 16 KB page size compliant. Okay, they said they are giving me time until November 1st, and then if my app is not compliant before that, I can't update my app in the App Store, right? So I took some digging into the docs and then there like multiple resources in the internet, and I found a solution, and my app is 16 KB compliant as of today, right? So let's just get started with the theoretical section, and then we will jump into the code side and how what you have to do step by step to make your app compliant, right? So it's like let's get started right here. I will just go through this and then I'll explain the code stuff, etc. So what they are saying is historically Android has only supported 4 KB memory page sizes, right? But starting Android 15 and 16, your device, like your apps, must support 16 page size on 64-bit devices. I believe why they are doing this is like as time progresses, each and every mobile providers like Vivo, Google Pixel, and then Oppo, or like on Samsung, etc. The amount of physical memory, which is the RAM, has increased exponentially, right? So when I started using mobile devices back in 2014 and 16, the it was not that good, right? Like it was just sluggish and like slow, but it worked. But right now, the apps have like the mobile devices have become extremely faster and stronger, and the like everything is like much faster, right? So and then so plus on top of this, there is a big AI push from Google. Okay, this is what I believe in this side, where they want multiple applications to use the on device AI features like Gemini, SDK, and all those stuff, right? So if they force, or like if they make this 16 KB size limit as default, right? And then let's take in 2026 or 2027, they give out Gemini SDKs, etc. You can the app and the device, both the app and the device, will be able to literally use Gemini's on device SDKs easily. Okay, that's, I think that's their long term plan, but for short term, they are first making this complaint, right? With the 16 KB, right? One more is I'll scroll down here in the benefits and the performance gains. You can see if we enable it with 16 KB size, right, we can get a lot of performance gains, etc. Right, but I believe what I like Samsung devices like the S25s, etc. They're already super fast. So if this percentage increase is like what I believe, it's like too much, right? But performance increase is like more, we will lead to more revenue, etc. But I believe their main focus is to include AI in all the apps with their Gemini SDK, because Android is open source software maintained by Google, right? So like integrating Gemini within your applications, where Gemini will directly increase revenue for them, is the way to go, because that's a perfect product market fit, right? Okay, now that is the theoretical part. Now let's get into the code side, right? Now here I will go to my the notes I have prepared, right? So here, so first thing is like starting from Android 15 or Android 16, or like literally from November 1st, your app has to be compliant with Android 15, Android 15 plus. Okay. The thing is like, yeah, like I made a video on edge to edge compatibility, right? Where starting Android 16, you have to be compliant with that. Android 15 it is opt out. You can opt out of it, but Android 16 you have to be compliant. Okay, that you can view my video on that. Okay, so the first section would be on the Android side, plus how you can do it in the React Native side, and the second part would be how you can make your React Native apps like what I would say like libraries compatible. So let's get started here. the first thing you have to do is go to this particular website to download the latest Android Studio version. This is must. Okay, let's take if you use Meerkat or any other previous versions, you can't make your app fully compliant. Okay, first you have to go here and download it. If you tap on here, and then you can download it for like your own MacBook or your Windows. I use a Mac, so I will tap on this and it will get downloaded. Okay, once you download it, install it, and then keep everything ready. Right, that's the first step. So the next step, right here, as I said previously, actually like last week, I kept on using Meerkat, which was the previous version of Android Studio. Okay, it was the 2024 version, but in the 2025 version of like this Narwhal, right? Once I installed and downloaded it and installed it, and I ran my app there, my app became 16 page, 16 KB page size compliant. Okay, so that is the first step. Okay, and then let's see why it became right. Like I will go here and I will scroll down. So let's I will skip over this for now. Here the main reason, okay, for it to be compliant, right? The previous version didn't have Android NDK, like an NDK's version of less than 27. Okay, but if the Android version is 27 plus 27 or 28, it is by default 16 KB. So what that means is, let's take you have an Android application and then you want to compile it and build it for your internal purposes or for the Play Store, right? So you have to you can build it in your local system, or you can build it in the cloud in GitHub Actions, or like you can use the cloud system to build the Android apps and then send it to the Play Stores, right? So if, let's say if you're an indie developer or like a small small business developer, right? In that case, you would build it in your local because you are the only one working, or let's say you have 2 to 3 members working, but you are the one who's going to create the build and send it, right? So what happens is, if you build it with the older version, it would have NDK version less than 27 or 27. But if you use the latest version, you will have the NDK version of 27 or 28. So what happens is, your app will be compiled or built with by default of 16 page complaint, 16 KB complaint, right? So you just have to download it and install it, and then I will tell you the next step. Okay, so what, and then the next step is upload. What you can do is, you can simply take it and upload it to the internal track, and you can test it, okay, if this is compliant or not. Or if you don't want to do that, you can do that locally with either some commands or within the Android Studio itself, right? So yeah, okay, I'll show you how you can do it, right? So go to your Android Studio, and then these are, okay, you can see Narwhal, right? This is the latest version. Here I have 2 applications. One is made with bare React Native CLI, and another is made with Expo CLI. But the thing is, it's like, because React Native is native, right, with some React code, right? But the native side remains the same. So what you have to do is, if let's say if you're going to create a normal Android like what like just plain Android app with Kotlin or Java, etc., you can use this. But I'm just going to open this, right? Once I open this, I will show you step by step on how to test it. Here, okay, I will also open the source code, right? Here I will go here, and then in this section, so as you can see, these are all the these are the 2 project for folders, right? This is just for like the demo purposes. It's not my real world application files, right? It's just to make the videos and showcase the features to you guys, right? Now here I have the like bare React Native app, and then this is the Expo CLI app, right? In this section, for the bare React Native app, you will have the Android folder, and in the Android folder, you will have the app folder, right? So you have to open it here. The same way for Expo application, use Expo pre-build to build the to generate the native folders, and then you will have these, right? But I'll stick with bare React Native for now, because the concepts are exactly the same for any Android application, right? So I'll go to Android, I'll go to app, app, and then here all the Gradle files and all those things will be there. Before that, I will go to package or JSON. Okay, here I have installed all the libraries which I will be using in my upcoming videos, right? So then let's take an example. Here I have used Firebase package, as well as I have used Boot Splash, and then Reanimated and React Native Maps and all these things. Okay, so the thing is, all these files use native files, native code, right? Native code is nothing but in Kotlin. So if I go to Android Studio, and then if I open this out, what happens here is, Either way, you are going to install the package. But if you are going, if like, install the package and use it. But if you want to go deep into this fundamentals, etc., low level stuff, right? But not too much low, like just the things required to make it more performant. What you have to do is, like, what happens in the background is, here, once you install all those packages, and if you open up your Android Studio, it will get all the Gradle files and all those, like the files that is required to build this app, and then it will install, like, download it and install it here. Okay, automatically. The Android Studio does it automatically. Okay, so in that side, like, for that, what happens here? Here you have React Native Firebase app, and then maps, etc. These are native files. You can see Kotlin and all those things will be here. Fabric. So this is what, this is a Java file. Okay, so all these things are in native side. There is no JavaScript code here. Okay, so what happens? Android Studio checks. Okay, these are all the libraries which are installed in the React Native side. So let's pull the native code side. And in React Native, as it's native, right? What happens? It has a bridge with the native side, and then gets all the code, and then, like, no, it has a native side which taps into these functions, and you can use it in the JavaScript side. That's why React Native is more performant, right? So here, now, what you have to do is, you have installed this Android Studio. You already have a Android like, project, right? Now what you have to do, go to build, and then in the build, you can either use generate app bundles or APK, or generate a signed bundle or APK. Okay, you have to generate an APK first. Why? Because you need to do this to check if your APK is 16 KB compliant from the Android Studio. That is one way. The another way is the long route that they are saying here. So here you can identify native libraries using APK analyzer, and then you can check the lib folder which contains the shared object or the .so files, and then in that we can find the alignment here. Okay, so what you have to do, the first step, build a APK file, APK, not AAB. Okay, AAB is only for the what is it, like, the play console, where they will use it to distribute it to others. What you want, you create it or generate it, and then you tap on analyze APK. Okay, once you tap on analyze APK, what you have to do is go to your project folder, and then go to Android, go to build, go to generator. Sorry, not generator, sorry, wrong. So I'll go to apps, and then release, and this one. Okay, so you have to open up the APK file which you have generated from your Android Studio, or like from your Gradle command. Okay, and then you have to tap on open. Before doing that, I will scroll to the top right. So we have finished this section, and then here, check if your app is impacted. Okay, if your app uses any native code, what is the native code? These are all the native code. Okay, in React Native, this is native code. If in normal Android applications, like without any frameworks like React Native, it would be just like the same, right? Like any other native code you have used. Okay, and then what they are saying is, if your app is in native, then you should rebuild your app with support for 16 KB. How can you rebuild your app? Rebuild by downloading the latest Android version and then installing. If you're unsure if your app uses native code, you can use the APK analyzer to identify whether any native code is present. Okay, that's what we are going to do now. And then we can check the alignment of ELF segments, which is the native files side of any shared libraries that you find. Android Studio also provides features that help you automatically detect alignment issues. Okay, so that is one, right? And the next one is, like, does your app use native code? Okay, your app uses C++ native code. If your app your app uses any native code. If your app uses Android NDK, then your app uses native code, right? Like, if you use the Android NDK for any of your libraries, right? Or if any of the libraries you have installed uses any of these things, then you have to check, okay, if it's 16 KB page compliant, right? That is one. And then let's go directly to the step from the Android Studio. Now you go here, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to tap on this and tap on open. Okay, if I do that, I will scroll down. Okay, I already have it estimating download size, which is like download, like APK size, and this is download size, which the user will what, like, when the user downloads your APK, right? This will be their install size, right? If they go to the settings and check. Now what you have to do, ignore all these things, go directly to lib, tap on this, and then you have four architectures, right? x64, x64, 64-bit, and then ARM 64, and like this one, this one is the latest version. Like, all the high end or mid-tier to high end devices use this, right? So what you have to do, tap on this, and then in the right hand side you will see alignment. Okay, if any of these libraries do not have 16 KB, either you have to recompile that with the Android Studio or ask the React Native libraries maintainers. Okay, I will show you that in the later part of this video, right? So in Android we have four architectures. These are the four architectures. So you have to go here and check. Okay, bro, like everything is 16 KB compliant. Now what you can do is you can upload this to your Play Store, Play Console to check there as well. Okay, you can do that. So if I scroll down, I can see they are saying to look with the lib folder. And then the lib folder, there is everything is 16 KB compliant. Now you are compliant with this particular Google Play Console compatibility requirement before November 1st. Now is what, 26th July. So what, August, September, October. So 3 months you are compliant 30, 90 days before. And then you can keep on improving your features, etc. So this is one way to do. I will show you the second way. So for the second way, for this to work, you have to either use a Mac OS or Linux. I'm using a Mac OS, so I can do this. So the first step you have to do is right click this and then open this in some other what I would say a tab, and then control command A to copy this, or control A and then control C, right? You copy this and then you go to your what I would say create a file called check underscore elf underscore alignment dot sh. Okay, so you do that and then you paste everything there, right? You paste it in this manner, right? So once you do that, what okay, once you do that, the next step is to go to your terminal and then run this command. So I'm just going to go to that file. So cd and then apps cd ronix, right? So this is the base folder that I have. I already have the command ready. So I'll go here. So you can run this particular sh file, which is a build script, against your APK to check this out. So let's do that. Okay, you can see. Okay, actually, yeah, here save to a script, and then okay. Once you run that, what happens is you can find, okay, if your APK is what I would say is aligned or not. Okay, so if any ARM64 or share or unaligned, you'll need to update the packages for those libraries, then recompile your app with Android Studio. Okay, so that's how you can that's how you can do it outside your Android Studio, right? But as you see, this is way faster and way better. So I'm just showing different ways to do it, right? So yeah, so this is how you can make your Android application in both React Native or native apps 16 KB page size compliant. When I had this issue 2 weeks back, I thought it was very difficult to do. But the thing is, it was just to go and download the latest Android Studio version and then recompile my app with it, just like how you do with Xcode, right? So, for example, if let's take next month, today is July, so on December or something or September, iOS 27 or 26 is launched fully, right? So, what happens? Let's take next year, the same time iOS 27 is launched. So you have to install the latest Xcode version and build your app with that, right? The same way the cloud providers would update their build script builds with the latest Xcode version, and then your app will be automatically compliant, right? So that's how you can make everything work, right? And then how you can make your Android React Native libraries work. Now comes the okay, here I'll scroll. Okay, now comes the part where this is completely for React Native developers, right? So before going that, I'll just explain this here. So I'll just explain some concepts here, so you'll understand more about it, right? Here, before Android, the 16 KB complaint, most of the apps had 4 KB page size complaint, right? Which was in Android 14, etc. Because if you had purchased the device like me in 2023 or 2022, they would be in Android 13 or 14 with 4 KB complaint, right? The thing is, what does OEM providers like Vivo and Oppo? So Android has something called ASOP, which is Android Open Source Project, AOSP, which is Android Open Source Project, right? So here, what happens is the phone providers in India like Vivo, Oppo, Samsung, etc. They get the Android source code, they they modify it, and then they put that on their devices. That's why they are called OEM providers, right? Now this is you can keep it as keep this particular concept in your mind, where less than 27 is default for 4 KB, And then after 28, right, 27, not 27, it's 28. 28 plus is default uh, 16 KB complaint, right? And then ARM 64 V8A, which is the architecture which is used in most of the modern and high-end devices, right? And the last one is, if you use this command, if you make this command work, right, what happens is, like, you would get the alignment as 0x 400 and 0x 1000. If it's this one, it's not for 16 KB complaint. If this is one, this 16 KB complaint, right? So that's the thing, right? As I said, the main reason is Google wants to push AI on their apps. That's what I believe their agenda is, and it directly aligns with their product market fit, right? For example, if you have an app which uses an LLM from OpenAI or Gemini, which has to connect with the third party service, right? Let's say you use Gemini's SDK directly within your app, and then it's directly embedded in the app or like in the device itself. So you can just simply use it, right? For example, in 2027 or 26, all the devices come with Gemini SDK or Gemini's hardware, some small hardware embedded into their Android device itself. You can literally use the hardware from your software side and provide LLM outputs, etc. And then like for a developer, you can pay some short fee, which directly translates into revenue for them. I believe that is the case because the more the RAM and then more the more powerful and complaint the app will be, right? So that's the reason I believe. And then these are some other terms: AOSP, as I said, Android open source program. ELF is executable linkable format, and .so, which is the shared object. If I go here, you can see .so, right? All this stuff, right? And then I will yeah, these are all the links that I used to do. So I will share these links below, right? So this completes the first section of the app, which is just the Android side. Now I will jump into the React Native side, right? So as you see, I have used a package called React Native Reanimated. Okay, so if I go here and then if I open up this link, if I scroll down, Android supports 16 KB page size for Android 15 plus devices. Okay, so what happened here? Analysis of my app using APK analyzer as described by Android shows that it does use and lib reanimated.so as native code. Okay, what is that? I will go here, lib reanimated.so, right? This one. But before what this was, what, 1 year ago, literally one year or like 11 months ago, right? Not 11, actually it's 1 year ago. Yeah, okay, it's for only 5 days from now. So they said this on our React Native 74 version. But if I scroll down, you can see literally 2 weeks before upgraded the latest version, and then React Native and reanimated as 3.1.17.0. Okay, if I go here and then let's see, now its latest version is 18, right? 3.18. If I scroll to the top, let's see what was the previous version. It was okay. They use React Native screens. If I scroll down, actually they didn't give it here, but this should have been a very old version, right? So, but what they did, they, I can say on May 9th, they okay, see, hi all, support for 16 KB size for Android 15 devices was added in this. Let's go here and then you can see like in the pull request in the file changes, you can go and see what are the changes they have provided. Okay, so for all the React Native libraries, what you can do is you can do two things. One is you can go to the GitHub repo of like the respective libraries and file a issue. Okay, that's one way to do this. Or you can patch it. Okay, if you have native Android like what I would say, like experience, you can read through the docs and then you can use patch files to patch all of these things, right? Like patch the Android's like what is it, like 16 KB compatibility and make it work. So you can go through all these docs. So for example, in the CMake, you can add this file, etc. Right. So I'll go to one more. So React Native keys. Okay, this is React Native keys. Okay, here I will go to issues. So okay, this is the issue I have opened. Right. So these were the files which were not compliant. Right. So what I did, I asked them, bro, it's not compliant. So what can I do? And then this gentleman has helped me to solve it, and then it worked. Okay, it worked for my application, which I can't show here. So if I scroll down, you can see libreactnative.so is 16 KB complaint because of like the help that I got. Right. So what I did was I went to the PR, but the thing is it's not merged fully. It's merged in this branch, like in this, what I would say, patched code. So if I go to the file changes, he has changed this. Okay, he has said let's copy this and paste it here. You can see in the NDK build. Okay, I'll tap this. Okay, I will go to Kotlin and then search this. Right, you can see in your build.gradle.kts file, set the argument equal to on. That's what he did. Okay, once he did it, I patched this file and I got it working. This works the same for all the React Native libraries or any other Android packages as well. Okay, so that's how you can fix it in the React Native side for any of your libraries. So yeah, so that's it for this particular video, right? And then just what I'll do is I'll try to run this command now. Okay, so what mistake I did is should not be in this fashion. That works, I believe, only in Linux. So this is the file I already have. So what I have to do is I have to like do the absolute pathing and then copy this and then paste it here. Okay. So what happens here? You see, we get all these things. Okay. ELF alignment, and then yeah, like you can see all the like the stuff that I have gotten here, right? Not zip alignment check requires, and like all these things are here. Okay, you can see 29 unaligned ellipse, only this particular thing, right, needs to be aligned, right? Something like this, right? But the thing is, more than this particular command, you can directly use that within what else, like the Android Studio itself, which is much faster. Okay, so that's it for this video. So I believe that you understood everything about how you can make your app to support 16 KB page sizes, even if you are using native Android project or in a React Native project, right? So the main objective is to download the latest Android Studio and then recompile your app with all the like latest stuff, right? And then check it in the analyze stuff, like in the build and then analyze APK. Okay, the main thing is you have to first build the app, either like mostly try to build it in the production side, right? Production build. So for example, how to do that, you can go to generate signed and then you can generate it, right? And then analyze that file. Okay, once you analyze it, go here. Okay, everything is compliant. Then to the final check is literally uploading it to the Play Store. Once you do that, you will find like okay, no issues have been found in 16 KB and your app is 16 KB compliant. Something like that will come up. Okay, so that's it for this video. I will see you in the next.